Georgia, Mr. Jack.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is to Chairman Cole. Building upon what my colleague from Georgia mentioned, I mean, this is not just a vote to fund the Coast Guard, to fund FEMA, to fund TSA. There are also quite a few other measures within this legislation we're seeking to fund. So if you could, in the inverse, explain to the committee and explain to all those watching, a no vote on these Senate amendments to HR 7148 equals what?
Well, it equals voting no to 94% of funding the government. So, you know, as important as Homeland Security and that agency is, and the discussion is, I'm not diminishing that, is it really appropriate not to pay anybody that wears the uniform of the United States that's defending us right now? I don't think that is. Is it appropriate not to fund research at the NIH on cancer and Alzheimer's or people in clinical trials? I don't think that is. Is it appropriate not to provide services to the American people that those of us that are most vulnerable need? Look, this is a huge swath of federal government. This is like, you know, taking a sledgehammer to try and get a fly. I mean, I'm not saying the fly is not important. I'm saying this is about funding essentially almost the entire government of the United States, which we are not doing now. The Senate has acted. It's now up to the House to act. Is this what I would have proposed? No. Is this what my colleague, the ranking member? No. We disagree on a lot of things. Is this the approach I would have taken to the Department of Homeland? No. But I would rather fund everything. I mean, you know, look, there are federal employees in every district in America. They ought to get paid for the work they're doing. They are doing important jobs for the country. Why would we shut down every safety agency? Why would we ask air traffic controllers to keep working without getting paid? Why should we ask scientists that are doing important research? I mean, it is, you know, inappropriate in my view not to fund the government. Most of the issues we're talking about, honestly, aren't appropriations issues. You can deal with them in judiciary. You can deal with them in the committees of jurisdiction. Part of the problem the appropriations process has is that everybody tries to put things on it that don't have much to do with it. So, again, you want to impeach somebody? Fine, file an impeachment resolution. We have a process to deal with that, not dealt with in the appropriations bill. So, again, I'm not going to go home and tell my people that are working hard at Tinker Air Force Base to keep 50 and 60-year-old airplanes flying in combat conditions they shouldn't get paid because Congress is having a fight over something that's totally unrelated to what they do, which is critically important. I'm not going to look at a young service family and tell them, I'm sorry, you've got a 6-year-old in daycare. We're not sure whether or not we can pay you to do. I'm just not going to do that. This is not what I would have preferred, but I'm going to vote to fund the government of the United States and then let us resolve these other issues through negotiation, through legislation, through adjudication if you need to. But shutting down the government is not a good thing to do. And it endangers and harms people who have done absolutely nothing wrong. And it puts the American people at risk. They may even agree with you about the issues you're concerned about in ICE or Homeland Security. Fair, but I bet you they don't agree that the military shouldn't get paid. I don't think anybody in America believes that, or very few people do. And I think they would think you were reckless in running that kind of a risk. And I don't think, you know, people, again, that are simply doing their job, 99.9% of whom work hard, play by the rules, have discharged the things we ask them to do, shouldn't get paid, or the vital research. So it's just, to me, the remedy is out of proportion to the problem that my friends have. And, you know, if you want to shut down the government for the second time in 3 months, you have the ability to do that. I guess the Senate chose not to do that. They chose a different course, not the one I would have chosen. But at least they looked at what we did together with the Senate and said 5 out of 6 of these things we're okay with. Let's get that done. Let's put a 2-week limit on this other and continue this debate and discussion. I would have preferred a longer period of time, but I don't know how they ended up with 2 weeks, but that's where they're at. And so right now, the government of the United States, not this Capitol complex, because we did fund the ledge branch, we have funded we have a number of bills in place, but about, over 70% of the government is unfunded, and people are doing important things for the American people and not getting paid, and they don't have anything to do with what's going on in Minneapolis one way or the other. So, I grew up in a military family. I grew up with a father that was a military defense worker after that, had a brother that followed the same course. They worked hard, they played by the rules. They deserve to get paid for what they do when they were doing it. I think the same thing about folks now. You want to have these arguments, discussions, you want to change things, but you don't shut down the government of the United States and freeze everything because you're upset about something that's happened. You deal with that problem within the context of that. You don't shut down the government. But again, people have a vote. They're entitled to do it. And the Senate chose this thing. It's not what I would have preferred, but I think it's better than shutting down the government.
Well, that is very, very well put, Mr. Chairman, and I think that's what everyone should consider when voting on this after we report out the rule tomorrow. With that, Madam Chair, I yield back.